to another film breakdown. Today, Carl's bugging me. Alright, man. What do you want? Today, we're taking a look at Clemson tight end Jake Briningstool. Jake Briningstool is a do-it-all tight end for the Clemson Tigers. And when I say do-it-all, he can really do it all. He can block really well in both chip blocks before he goes out for his route, while also just being a really solid run blocker on the offensive line. As a receiver, he has really reliable hands, can access all three areas of the field, has solid run after the catch ability, and provides a really large catch radius for the quarterback. I was actually high on Jake Briningstool in last year's draft, and then he kind of surprised me and returned to school. I believe I had him tabbed as a top 150 player in last year's class, and then he came back to school, and I have him right now, as of October. My October rankings had him inside the top 100, so we'll see if that changes at all. But I only have one 2024 game, so we're going to watch that, and it is the first game of the season, Clemson against Georgia, and we'll kind of see what Jake Briningstool has to offer. This is Jake's first catch of the day, and it kind of shows his, first of all, right here, he saw this safety coming down. He knows he's about to get rocked. Still looks the ball in, embraces the contact, and then he keeps his legs moving. Doesn't really get much out of it, but you just like to see that motor steadily trying to get as many yards as possible in any given situation. It's a bad one right here. He does have reliable hands. I think he just tried to turn upfield a bit too early, and it resulted in one of those just dreaded concentration drops. Look at him get in the chest of 32, and with the help of 71, he really dominates his blocking matchup. And I know the run didn't go anywhere, so he doesn't get a full chance to prove it. But look at 9 here. He has no problem getting active in the phone booth. So, mainly in college, you're looking for a willingness to block from these guys, and he's got it. And he plays really well from the line. There he is immediately in the second level and immediately engaging, and I think holds up the defender long enough for Phil Maffa to get a decent gain there. It's another quality block by Briningstool here. Just cutting off 93 and creating a little barrier for his runner to get around. Briningstool motions from a unique tight end set, sneaks through the offensive line, and he's kind of just in the flats as a safety net, and Cade Klubnik, safety net merchant, really. So that's music to his ears. My favorite quality to look for in a tight end is that what I like to call the Travis Kelce. What should we call it? The Travis Kelce effect, where they're able to find those soft spots, those large patches of green grass that nobody is occupying. Because tight ends are usually floating around the short to intermediate areas of the field waiting for the football as a reliable target. And that's what Briningstool does here. Kind of just floats into the middle and then doesn't really run full speed, just knows he has open grass and wants to maintain that status. And he gets the ball from Klubnik, who's rolling out with defenders in his face, and a modest gain on a play that could have been a sack. So yeah, I love this technique. Let's get after it. Look at Briningstool in the slot and immediately gets low, hands in the pads. He's winning that one-on-one matchup. If you have a tight end that can just fully go one-on-one with a linebacker, that's a win in terms of a blocker. You need those guys who are going to get on the line and just move people, and that's what he does. Phil Maffa is a between the tackles back, so a lot of the times he's just going to be chugging along for a few yards here and there. So Briningstool doesn't get to get out in space and make a big tackle that often, but his ability to just play on the line and block and how productive he is very impressive and eye popping for uh, tight ends. Because especially in this class, I don't see a lot of super impactful blockers, which I don't think will hurt a lot of people's stocks on them. But in the later rounds, you're going to choose the tight end who's a good blocker over the tight end who can't block. But I'm sorry, that's not a lot of film. Um, I just don't have any more access to pure film. If you want to go look at Jake Briningstool's highlights, just Google them on the tube. But I really like him as a really three-dimensional player that can block and receive, can run, can do it all. Uh, the NFL, whether your team does it right now or not, is moving towards 12 personnel heavy offenses. Um, a lot of these offenses are throwing out two tight ends at a time, a lot more than they used to. And you can guarantee at least one of them are going to be on the line, throwing a chip block, blocking, or just going out for a route from the line. Jake Briningstool can be a perfect complementary tight end in a 12 personnel offense. Think of Dawson Knox or Noah Gray, for example. Just very complementary tight ends to guys who are ahead of them that are more about receiving. And these guys are more well-rounded, not a master of anything, but a jack of all trades sort of thing. And I think Jake Briningstool can fit into that perfectly. So do I think he's going to be some super productive starting tight end? Chances are low. But what I do think he can be is a really, really beneficial tight end too in a 12 personnel offense for a multitude of teams. You look at guys like Michael Mayer, who was actually drafted to be like the Raiders guy, and it just, sometimes it doesn't work out like that. And then they had the chance to draft Brock Bowers, and now they have two pretty solid tight ends. Um, you got to think of who else could we think of where they have these two tight ends going back and forth. Isaiah Likely is actually more of the receiving tight end, and Mark Andrews does a lot of the blocking. But the dynamic works really well. So I think it's very similar with where Jake Briningstool can end up. And I'm looking forward to whatever team he goes to. I guarantee he makes a 53, and I guarantee he makes an impact. So I appreciate you watching. If you have any comments, what are your thoughts on Jake Briningstool? I feel like he's not really talked about a lot. So what are your thoughts? Are you low on him? Are you high on him? I appreciate you watching, and I will see you next time. Love you. Bye.